Three men with 3 decades of separation debate 3 tough choices every week. This is the Pick 3 Show. Welcome back to another episode of the Pick 3 Show, where we pick a topic and then debate our top 3 choices in respect of the chosen subject. As we always say, there are no bad choices, just bad opinions. But we can certainly find reasons to argue with each other's logic throughout the course of any episode. With 3 decades of separation among the regular panellists, there are frequently strongly held differences, and I suspect that today's chosen subject could be one of our more volatile discussions. So joining me at a very undisclosed location are my colleagues Gareth and Andy. So morning, fellas.
Morning, Martin. Morning, Andy.
Morning, Martin. Morning, Gareth.
They're so polite.
Yes.
That's until we start in, and then they will eviscerate me for some of my choices, because today's pickmaster technically is Martin.
Ooh.
So we know it's going to be a good topic. In fact, our top 3 picks are what we would take to a desert island. Now, I assumed that this meant we were marooned for a period, so I am thinking survival rather than secluded sun lounger with items to pass the time pleasantly. I also stipulated to the boys before they came here that a supermodel companion did not count as an item for this particular exercise.
We value life, but come out with
Yeah,
that.
I think
I'm just pointing out for the listeners that there were very strict rules put in place that would enable us to actually have a serious debate about what we would in fact take to a desert island. So knowing the route I've taken, I'm actually very intrigued to see the route you've taken, and therefore I'm going to slightly break with tradition as pickmaster and not outline my choices first. So third choice, I'm going to put Andy, who is looking a little bit in the, I'd say bunny in the headlights right now, but that's not fair. He just looks like he's anticipating a good debate. So, Andy, what's your third choice of essential item for a desert island?
Thank you, Martin. This is a really interesting pick because I think you can go down 2 ways. Survival or the fun side of things, depending on how you imagine you got in that desert
You got to
island.
survive to have fun.
Agreed. So my number 3 pick, really simple, really boring, fishing rod. I think it's just such a simple
I don't
pick.
know why you laughed. It's an absolutely first-rate and logical pick with 1 or 2 minor questions.
Of course. So
Do you fish?
I have in the past.
There you
my
go.
dad's an avid fly fisherman, and so I do know a little bit about fishing.
I'm not sure fly fishing is the exact requirement on a desert island. I've never seen Robinson Crusoe out there giving it the old whippy.
The J.R. Hartley.
Yes.
But I think, fishing rod, I went fishing a couple of years ago, probably the last time, but I think practical, makes sense, a lot of logic to it. Fishing rod number 3. Simple. I'd be surprised if you guys didn't have something like a fishing rod from a practicality point of view.
I'll be astounded if Gareth has anything practical.
No.
I see a few of my fellow co-hosts nodding and shaking heads.
So you're asking now, is my number 3?
Potentially,
Okay.
yeah.
So first of all, I'm going to ask a question. Did you pick this, Martin, because you were on a desert island because you don't like people and you wanted to be on the desert island?
Do you know what? It's not the worst scenario available to me. I think if you dropped me on a desert island as opposed to dropping me in the centre of Bangkok, which is something that you previously, I think I would actually feel slightly less intimidated being alone on the desert island.
Well, whenever you give me this topic, I thought, I'll be able to research this as I love this here. And I got full research, and I was, first of all, I got the Anchor solar power 10-watt charger, thinking I can do this. And then you took away all electronics, and there's my 3 choices were just gone.
But I knew that would be, because yours would be, I'm marooned on a desert island, I've got a power bank, I've got a sat phone, and I've got something to watch until the helicopter arrives to pick me up.
Exactly.
I get the logic of that. It's just not the exercise we were talking about.
I agree, so I had to change it all. So the third thing I took is not survival. I've gone amusement.
Okay.
and mine is a football.
Wow, yeah.
I love football. Watching it, and unfortunately, as I get older, not playing as much. Although I might consider walking football in the future whenever I get over 60s. I was actually thinking, can we do that soon? I think I would amuse myself every day with football. I love challenges and do feel different challenges keep me going. I could do toe taps, and I always remember as a kid, I couldn't do toe taps the way everybody else could do it. So I think this is a chance to master this toe taps, right? Because it wasn't skill. I'd be doing free kicks with false players. I'd also put a wee face on it like Tom Hanks did. In
I was just going to say, you're bringing Wilson.
I'm bringing Wilson, but Wilson's going to be used and kicked around rather than talked to. They would take away the boredom of being on the island by myself, and then a full year of dedicated practice, 3 hours per day. I could come back as Northern Ireland's top player, and boom, another challenge fulfilled. You'd be looking at me, watching me on that Northern Ireland pitch, probably taking the striker because I'd be practicing that with a lot of the free kicks.
Palm trees as goals.
Oh, yep, exactly. And actually, a wee tree as, and make the wall of the football to bend it round. And I think 3 hours, constant practice every day, maybe even a bit more, I could be playing for Northern Ireland.
I think that's a great choice.
It's a rubbish choice.
It's a great
It's
choice.
the stupidest choice you could possibly have. Because, one, he won't practice for a year because he's already wasted one of his picks on something that doesn't give him any nutrition and help him actually be fit enough to run around.
Still 2 picks to come.
I know, but you've wasted one of your picks.
Nah.
Certainly a football, right, with the best will in the world, the beach will have a slope on it because it always does.
But I flatten it out.
Oh, you flatten. Oh, so we're going to grade the pitch. We're going to create a couple of
like that.
How do you know my number 2 is not a JCB?
True. I don't. But there would be one or two other. I am intrigued as to how you get marooned with a JCB on a desert island. But the point is that whilst you do that, I honestly think the boredom of that, because when you would discover a week in that actually you weren't that good and that you weren't going to improve that much.
No, I would be.
Okay. Well, I like that confidence, but
be.
I'm just going, really, is it an essential pick?
I'm not going to
desert island.
Actually, just whenever you said the JCB, I've always wanted a wee digger for the back garden.
Back garden, dig stuff up.
And I could be playing around that. I wish I'd said that. But anyway, I'll take a football.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to give you any more of my picks yet, but there could be some overlap later on.
Oh, and what about if it deflated?
The JCB or the football?
The football.
I'd repair it.
Hi.
Listen.
With what? Is pick number 2 a football repair kit?
Well,
pump?
I'd work it out some way. I actually fixed a door this week.
Oh, wow.
And I was really impressed myself. It took a long time to get it done.
The lock or
the lock? Well, and I needed to go and get bits off other guys, etc. So I now think I'm practical. I'll be able to do it. Don't worry, Martin.
Okay. I have to say, your first choice sounds very practical. I'm about to be marooned for potentially up to a year, but what's your first choice? Football.
Yeah,
I think
it's amusement.
I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, thanks.
I think it's I cannot walk past the football without kicking it.
Come on, get on to your.
That's completely different to I can't walk past it without kicking it. To it's one of my 3 essential items for a desert island.
Let's see.
I think it's good.
Rattle out your number 3, then let's see what. It
All
is.
right, I will indeed. My number 3
Look at the
choice.
length of notes he has in this, Andy.
I'm scared.
I would take as first item the Lifesaver jerry can. And this is an 18.5 litre ultra sturdy plastic jerry can with built-in filter technology capable of purifying up to 20,000 litres before the filter requires replacement. It removes 99.99% of waterborne viruses, bacteria, cysts and microplastics and requires no chemicals or energy. It is expensive. It's at £300, so it wouldn't come into our what you bought for under £100 category from a previous podcast. But it is utilised by many aid agencies as a first resort water system in disaster locations. There are no unpleasant tastes, and it reduces turbidity of glacial, cloudy or muddy water. Not often on the podcast you get turbidity. But anyway, and it includes a secondary activated carbon filter. Now, number 1, assuming desert island, I was having a conversation with my wife and she said, what if the desert island was in a cold location? I went, it's not a desert island then. It's a deserted island.
Yeah.
It's a completely
Good
different
answer.
thing.
Very quick answer. Well done.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But water is your number one priority. Without water, you don't make it 3 days.
But just boil it.
Well, we'll come back to... While you're doing it, do keepy-ups.
Aye, exactly.
Do keepy-ups.
Yeah.
That is a serious piece of proper survival kit. You've got 3 items.
What size is it, Martin?
18.5 litre, which is just under 5 gallons, 4.5 gallons. And every day you're finding your water source, you're actually producing it, you then pump it, and it actually goes through the filter. It's genius. Steady, lads.
We're just looking at his hand action.
Yeah.
I worry about these two. Anyway, that was my approach to this, which is how do I survive? And again, I'm on the beach. I'm busy getting the water cleaned up, and I'm looking over, and there's some plonker at the far end of the beach doing keepy-ups.
You see, you like it. You like it.
Oh, do you
Let me tell you.
Oh, do you know what? The timing's perfect, actually, because when we get on to my number 2, it'll just add the practicality goes out the window.
It just send me off on one. So at the moment, I'm busy getting the camp's water clean and ready to drink. Andy is on the rocks trying to catch our tea. And meanwhile, Pele's little brother is attempting keepy-ups at the far end of the beach.
I'm keeping Northern Ireland going by a good football team.
I like that, and I like the
and he's getting redder as he says.
and that's only his number 3.
I know. Right.
That's only my number 3, gentlemen. You wait till you get to number 1.
So my number 2, and it's perfectly timed for this, is a ball. Ball, when I was putting it down, I did have the Tom Hanks mentality of Wilson drawing it on, but it was a similar mentality of Gareth having a ball there, kicking it around. And then I thought, what if it deflates? Nah, you're thinking too much. Just enjoy it while you can. Yeah. Enjoy the couple of days before it drifts off into the ocean. But for my simplicity, after having the logical fishing rod is 3, it's something to keep me active. And as I touched on, I want to make sure I can't walk past the ball without kicking it. And I need, So I think you're number 3. Excellent
Brilliant.
choice.
See, that's 2 against 1.
I think that's a fit.
Well, we are on a deserted island. I mean, again, we're building the picture that suddenly the 3 of us are moving together. And I'm deeply concerned at the survivability of this group so far. But meanwhile, I have to say, this is cracking me up. The boys were given a task and they were told to go and talk about what it takes to survive in a desert island. And both of these Muppets have brought a football.
I would be doing keepy-uppies every day, keeping the chart 101 today, 104 to be.
I was never good at it, and that's why I want to perfect it.
I think, imagine that as well, just half an hour in the morning, half an hour.
And can you imagine the radio interview or the TV interview, and they're interviewing you and said, well, Martin, what do you take? Oh, I brought my wee can here, and there's me doing keepy-uppies and skills in front of TV.
I'm just trying to work out, where's his chart for keeping the actual score?
Oh, yeah.
Is that one of your choices as well?
I would have little rocks on the sand. I would be using a tally chart metric there.
Oh, there you go.
But I think practicality went out the window. I did think, some water filter would be useful. I was like, nah, football in the corner. Let's live for 3 or 4 days with a football before death sets in.
Right. So I also want to say to listeners, Andy and I never discuss our choices.
No.
We don't
patently obvious you don't think about them either.
We don't live together at all. And my number 2 choice, give a man a fish. He eats for a day. Teach a man to fish. He eats for a lifetime. I have picked fishing kit online.
Oh, brilliant.
And so why I did it was, 1, survival, yes, and catching the fish. But I do like the thought of fishing. I've always liked the thought of fishing, but never fussed on touching the fish. But I get used to it so much. And I love catching. I actually don't mind the cutting them. I just, the scales getting over your hands and not fussed on. So I'd have my trusty fishing kit for getting food each day and keeping me alive. Also, the stillness of fishing, along with the concentration of watching that wee float go up or down whenever I'm collecting my fish. I think it actually enjoy. And also, I want to survive until I am rescued. And with the fish, I'll also be keeping healthy. I'll be getting my omega-3s in, etc. I'll actually then maybe use them to keep my pet shark.
Oh yeah,
or dolphins that might come in, and I'll catch the fish, and they'll do wee tricks for me as well.
With a ball,
with a ball, which I'm just saying that to him because that's really winding him up with the ball. And hopefully the weather's going to be quite okay as well, and I really enjoy the fishing. Right, brace, Andy, here he comes.
No way.
the silence is deafening.
Again, the fishing kit is a decent choice.
Okay.
I don't have a problem. It is the whole thought process around the casualness with which you can now say something as profound as give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll live for a lifetime. So far, apart from having a ball, you have done nothing to survive other than, well, let's go see if there's some fish about.
Oh, yeah.
But what if there's a seal? Remember you used to see the seals used to bounce the balls on them as well?
I think you've highlighted one really interesting thing. Keeping yourself seeing on the island.
Yeah.
Fishing. Martin will be worried about his litres of water, the pump breaks and that. He goes,
exactly.
how can I fix it? I can't fix it.
Or it gets a hole in it.
Yeah. It's fairly durable. I've looked into it's
with
robust.
Take out the 1 year warranty.
Robust, absolutely. It is very high quality. It's used in disaster areas. It's a proper piece of kit. Meanwhile, over there with the Umbro ball, stitched by some poor child in a sweatshop in Bangladesh. He's trying to do keepy uppies and trying
so
not
is Andy.
Oh, brilliant.
Andy's with me in it.
We've got a fishing rod, we'll get that.
Yeah.
No water.
I can
Two same choices, 2 and 3.
That's great. Do you think there'll be a day we'll pick the same as Martin?
No.
It appears that likelihood is not particularly high. I'm sitting there. I've got this mental image of the three of us, and I'm going, when you hear my second choice as well, you're going to go, there's something not right with that man. I think we might be on the desert island with a psycho.
My mental image is him being the da on the desert island going, come on, boys, come on over here. We're filling the jerry can. We're just playing football here.
Well, yeah, fishing rods is actually goalposts.
Yeah.
And then I briefly take an interest in what the pair of you are doing. And I say, so who's winning? I don't know. Andy's got 9,474 goals, and I'm at 8,643, but he's claimed a couple of things. It's competition.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Again, actually, the fishing kits are a sensible choice. The fact you both picked a ball is bizarre, and also
it puts the pressure on our number one to see which route we go down. No,
it absolutely does. It also, for some of our listeners, they will be doing what I'm doing right now. They will be looking at their device. They'll be screaming apoplectically at the choices that some of these people are making because they've tuned in to the Pick 3 show for serious content.
But it's serious content.
Yeah, it is. It's seriously weird content.
Now,
but anyway.
2 new Northern Ireland players.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, pick number 2 from the man who's determined to actually survive on this island is a UST Barracuda FS Machete with fire starter.
Talking about research, he's going on Amazon.
To our listeners, Martin is holding an A1 sheet of paper with...
Do you know, this is the first time doing this that it's actually cracked me up completely.
So read that out again. It was all the letters.
I think it's branding. I'm going to have to edit some of this. I'm losing the plot here. Anyway.
About the letters, isn't it? Right.
I think my number one's going to send him over the edge.
I know.
I think this is the first time I've ever done a podcast where I've been crying. Anyway, the UST Barracuda FS Machete with fire starter. A strong, flexible machete for clearing bush and trails, which comprise... honestly, they look disgusted. But anyway, which comprises an 11-inch... we'll get back to this in a second.
I know you're an estate agent, but are you going to build a development there?
An 11-inch machete with it.
It's got a straight-edge blade with an aggressive sawback for easy sawing of both wet and dry wood. It has a black oxide coating for rust resistance. It has a paracord handle for secure grip, which can be unwound for emergencies. It includes a magnesium fire starter and a durable nylon sheath for safe
Listeners, I hope we keep this laughter in after the edit.
I'm so sorry. This is very unprofessional. It's got a bright orange handle for easy location in the camp.
Oh, bright orange. Bright orange. Well, where to leave that?
I'm going because I'm with you two. Where'd you leave the machete? Don't know. We were playing football.
Exactly. I can just see Martin getting our football, stabbing a hole in both of them.
Exactly.
You see,
so are you looking to develop the island into a building site?
I'm looking to develop the island into a survival camp,
which
would enable us to do things like light a fire and boil some water that I've already filtered for you so that we could actually have steamed fish or whatever, considering if you boys actually catch anything, which I'm beginning to think is highly dubious.
Nothing that got the fish.
It also, the machete is required for building a shelter and various other useful things around, plus self-defense. Remember, a desert island may have some occupants that aren't necessarily looking to help. So there may be snakes, there may be spiders, there may be lots of things.
Just kick a football at them.
Cannibals.
Yes, and certainly I doubt it'll be cannibals, no.
Very practical selection, Martin.
Yeah.
One that is not surprised.
Yeah. I'm heavily researched
I was going to say, that orange handle really sets it
on
apart.
the magnesium fire starter.
To be honest, gentlemen, there will come a day when the three of us look at each other on the beach and one of you goes, please tell me you brought the UST Barracuda FS machete with fire starter.
How did you research that? How did you find that?
It was very simple. You go on and say survival machete.
Oh, right, okay.
It doesn't take much research. It just takes a little bit of a logical thought to actually bring that into play.
I would like to see, actually, sorry, I'll rewind that. I wouldn't like to see Martin's search history on Google.
No. Well, exactly.
But the practicality so far for the camp, I have brought clean water and a useful tool for actually either construction, fire starting, preparation, fish gutting, all these various things.
You've got to catch the fish first.
You've got nothing to gut it with.
Well, wait.
Nothing yet.
Wait,
okay, well, so far, let's just say I'm not sitting here assuming you're going to make a great choice for your top choice.
I have a great one coming.
So, leading on from the practicality of Martin, perfectly timed to supplement my fishing rod and my ball is a hammock.
Oh, good.
No, that's okay.
That was on my list.
So,
that's all
and
right.
the best bit about the hammock is I'm sitting here, Martin, going down the practical route, and I have this image of me sitting in a hammock with a football throwing it up in the air as he's trying to filter the water, use his machete to cut down everything, and I'm sitting there. Whenever I mentioned this to my wife, she said, why wouldn't you just get a knife and make a hammock yourself? And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I want a hammock made. And she went, yeah, I understand that. Your lack of DIY skills, but that's another conversation.
Do you know one of the great mental images that's in my head at the moment? I'm working away in the camp. I've the water filtered. I'm busy building the shelter, and I see that Andy is laid back in his hammock in the thing. And as I just wander past it, I whack the tree that's holding the rope up with his hammock with the UST Barracuda FS machete.
Orange handle glinting in the light.
And he just hits the dirt. And then we have a conversation about, helping out around the camp. Maybe grow up a little, son. That sort of thing. You're not going to survive on your own out here. You're going to have to put a bit more effort in.
So with the practicalities of a fishing rod, a football, just to cap it all off, a lovely hammock to relax and enjoy my final days.
The one thing about the hammock, and let's put a serious spin on this for a split second, is the biggest thing that you always see from these survival programs of people on a desert island is the thing that nearly always drives them to the edge of distraction is sandflies.
Yeah.
And you need to be up off the ground. So actually, the hammock is probably a good enough choice. It's just probably not the number one choice that you should have had, because what you basically said is, I was tired. I was out fishing for 40 minutes.
I'm playing football.
And then I kicked the ball around. It's hot out there. I need a break.
Oh, yeah. That's how I see the desert island. I'm sitting there going, And seeing it as a 3-week holiday, no kids, no wife, sitting there, football skills are better, enjoy a bit of fishing and relax a bit.
Are you only taking the 3 weeks?
Do you know what?
Well, at the base, on the rate he's going, he's not escaping this island.
Probably
So
push it to 4.
Yeah,
4
yeah,
and then, like, do you know what? I'll probably ring Just Eat to bring me some food and water. Do you know, we were on, I digress, but I was on Loch Lomond many years ago, and we were on this island. There was just us, and this boat came on, and this group of people sat, and they set their camp on Saturday night. And another boat came on about 20 minutes later and brought them pizzas. And I was like, what are those guys doing? Oh, yeah, we just ordered pizza. Like, you ordered pizza and the boat actually brought it out the middle here in Ghana. Oh, yeah, they do that all the time. There's the number. Incredible.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
My number one choice.
No, just before you get to your number one choice, I've just learned something about Andy's concept of survival,
Pizza.
which is, oh yeah, but I'm on the desert island. I just rang for pizza.
Yeah, I think
know,
there's a lot to be said.
like
that modern economy.
Okay, so my number one choice. 2 parts to this.
Oh, good.
Practicality.
Oh.
And the second part, nostalgia. I want to take a knife, but not an ordinary knife. I'm taking a Swiss Army knife. I remember in school there was always that kid who, I mean, probably had a little bit more money. They had the Swiss Army knife, and you'd maybe got a wee pen knife yourself. Those are the days when you could take a pen knife into school.
Yes, and not be regarded
I'm
as...
not regarded
yeah.
as going to get locked up. But someone would bring in the daddy of all knives, the Swiss Army knife. So I've done a bit of research on it. What's on the Swiss Army knife? There's a large blade, a small blade, scissors, can opener, bottle opener for Andy lying on the hammock having a few beers,
I like it.
corkscrew in case something gets washed up, screwdriver, saw blade, tweezers, toothpick, reamer punch, key ring, and now there's an advanced model, which I'd be obviously taking with me, which has a file for my nails, magnifying glass, fish scaler and hook remover, pliers, and an LED light.
Ooh, the LED.
That knocks your machete for 6.
I'll take the machete all day long. By comparison to that, there are a whole number of things. Is one, the saw on this. Have you ever tried to cut anything with a saw? It's, it cut a twig.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not a saw. The blades, yes, useful. The fish scaler will be useful if you're any good at the fishing. But toothpick, yeah, I can get that because you won't have your high-powered flosser that you bought for under £100.
No, disappointing.
Which means that after a few days, you're going to be the one sitting around licking the inside of your mouth after what you've got. There's definitely a fishbone in
And
there
don't forget
somewhere.
the magnifying glass, what the magnifying glass does.
Oh, yes. We bit of
Would
sunlight.
you see that?
Clever.
Yeah.
That is the first time today that I've actually gone, there's a modicum of common sense.
Listeners,
my
Mark
fire
is
starter.
grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah, my fire starter is much more direct, but at least you've thought about it.
Yeah, but
It's an
yours
option.
wears out. The what is it, manganese or something in it?
Magnesium.
Magnesium, right, okay. The magnesium will soon wear out.
I quite like this.
Magnifying
No,
glass.
because once we get the fire lit, boys, there'll be a rota and a routine
Jesus, right.
where you actually have to keep the fire alive.
Swiss Army knife's a good one. What colour? Red, I can
Red.
imagine.
Always like a red.
Not-
Red burgundy. Do you remember?
Yeah,
The person had it, and I never ever had one, but I was jealous of it. Something serious.
I had a couple of them, not unsurprisingly, being a scout, and we used them. But really, at camp, you wanted a proper knife for cutting through things. It was a useful tool, but not a regularly useful
I
tool.
understand.
And I think as a survival tool, it would be useful to have if you had nothing else.
Yeah. Don't forget gutting the fish. Remember you said.
Well, I think the gutting fish, I think that's
it's-
going to be.
and scaler. I don't really like scales.
Yeah,
Like them
you
off.
don't want that, man.
I know. Well, I can understand all of that.
Good choice. I like it.
You see, you're very
like
kind.
it.
You're
You like
very
it,
kind.
Martin.
I'm actually happier with this than I am
Compared to a hammock.
the two footballs kicking around. But
Football's a great one. I'm intrigued to know Martin's number one. A lot of pressure on this.
gentlemen, you are going to thank me. We'll be sitting round the campfire, which I will have started using the magnesium fire starter,
or the magnifying glass.
and with the wood that I've chopped down with the machete, and we'll be boiling up some water to steam the fish, freshly taken from my jerry can. And we will then read together extracts from the SAS Survival Guide by John Lofty Wiseman. This is the perfect companion for my period of survival on any island. It includes copious detail on navigation skills, techniques to get you through unfamiliar terrain, finding resources in your environment, feeding yourself, healing yourself, and avoiding disease. It's good at recognizing dangerous situations, defending yourself, and saving others. At only £9.99, this is easily my number one pick. And I hate to tell you, gentlemen, I may already own a copy of this.
Just the one?
Just buy.
No, I think my boys each have a copy of it as well. It is a full survival manual. And look, if you watch any of the programs with Bear Grylls or any of the other survival experts that are on TV, Ed Stafford, I think, is another good one. They tell you there are a number of things that are just absolutely essential. Number one is water. Number two is fire. Number three is shelter. And if you've got those three, you're going, this book teaches you techniques around all of those. And I would have the tools with me to be doing that. So at the end of our time, the helicopter would hove into view. Somebody's seen the help sign that I've actually put out on the beach, and they'll be flying in going, there's a flipping football match going on at the far end.
Where we like, leave us, just leave us, we're all right.
We're going in, who? And one of them's playing skins. You know, I think you would have known who was on the other side since there were only two of you. But anyway, so as it comes in, flies in, he'd be looking down, and the pilot would be going, fair play. That's a proper shelter. That fire looks like it's been running for a long time. And they look reasonably healthy. They must have had clean water. And therefore, or at least I would have had, and then you boys would have been obviously running around. You'd have had a bit of raw fish to eat. And you'd be eaten alive by sandflies. Well, not so much you because you're in your... But I would have built a shelter that got me up off the ground anyway.
Yeah, he's developing the island.
It is. They're condos. Condos there by the time we left the pilot.
Sea views.
By the time the pilot landed, got out and said, look, by the way, we still have availability at number 4. If you're interested, it's a two-bedder. And, it's quite nice. We've installed a new water tank in blue plastic. And all of these things. But that book... Having come from a scouting background, and we are very much into this concept of actually being able to go out and actually properly camp and not be reliant on stuff.
Scout as well, Venture Scout, all that America type thing. I still think I've got the Swiss Army knife. It can do anything.
Yes, but you're attached to it. The knife can do a lot, but it's
but
can you develop your skills?
I don't need to read about them.
You don't have to read a book. You see, normally you check everything on the internet. Yeah. You go and you've always been data-driven. We know this. We know this. But very much an opportunity to actually improve your skills.
I am doing that. Me and Andy are doing that with the football.
I think we are. Yeah. I think there's some good choices.
Yeah,
a varied selection.
You are such a nice man. You always say there are good choices. Today's choices were some of the most bizarre.
They were the best.
The most bizarre.
The highlight was Martin breaking down at some of our choices.
Yeah, brilliant.
I have to say, it's been a long time since I've been pushed quite. It started so well. I'm talking about a fishing rod. Yeah. Oh, well, that's an excellent choice, Andy. And football. What? What?
Brilliant.
We've got some of our listeners have commented. One of them who sort of, you can make of this what you want. Ron Greer sent in a fully equipped golf bag, a fully equipped barbecue, and then a deck chair.
Just on that, actually, same, my friend Michael McErlane sent one in. He did golf clubs.
Yeah.
A Komodo Joe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Very similar runs.
And his third one was Kendall Jenner.
Well, you see, again, we've already said that.
He didn't know. That was really nice.
Sorry, what? I risk asking, what is a Komodo Joe?
Barbecue.
Yeah,
it's a type of barbecue.
It's like a ceramic
egg barbecue.
Oh, the egg type
red ones.
And then
they're nice.
Peter McQuillan messaged a bucket hat, a kettlebell, and a yo-yo.
See, he's thinking the same way as football, isn't he?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Kettlebell.
Yeah, it's rich.
Keep it fit.
Sorry. Oh, that's a weight
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you youngsters would
And
use.
then Richard Robinson, very similar thinking to you, Martin. He went, he said a Leatherman wingman multi-tool.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about.
He would.
I don't think it's as good.
flummoxed.
I don't think it's as good a choice as the UST Paracuda FS Machete with Firestarter. But there
Is
you
it
go.
Paracuda or Barracuda?
Paracuda.
Oh,
What's Paracuda?
Well, it means it's got paracord. I presume
right,
it's Paracuda.
Okay. All right.
And Richard actually said the ball, he also put a ball and a radio, but he also said the ball would double as a good buoyancy aid for floating. That's quite clever, actually.
Well, it is. That's true. Unless he gets one of the leather ones.
And
Then they're rubbish after a while, especially in the sunshine, heating up, getting wet.
And then
Salt.
Sean messaged in, very practical, hatchet, rope, and tarp.
Well, I like this guy. Who's this guy again?
Sean. And I asked it to my niece and my daughter, and both of them said, oh, you have to bring each of us and an iPad with Roblox on it. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that'll work.
Modern children.
I worry for the youth of today,
so do I.
which includes, by the way, Andy, the way today is gone. But,
My hammock is still intact.
Brilliant.
yeah, well, you think it is until you find that it's been cut up and used for something more practical. But anyway, listeners, you will all have sat there and come up with your own list of what you would take. Again, it's a survival exercise, as far as I was concerned. These gentlemen seemed to think they're going to enjoy their time on the island, which is absolutely fine. But I do think there's going to have to be some practical reality. And whilst they've taken a certain approach to it, I think it looks likely that they'll both survive a short period, whereas I'm intending to survive and thrive on the island. And eventually they will be coming and trying to get accommodation from the new landlord on the island who's been building stuff as we go along. Let us know. Gentlemen, pass on for the listeners, because what we haven't done yet very often in the podcast is list where they can interact with the podcast. We talk about our socials, but we haven't actually listed exactly where it is. So we're on
Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky.
And, well, Twitter, we'll get it sorted out again.
Yes, we did get a ban on Twitter.
We did, yeah.
You managed
because we used a picture of the Funky Pop model from Andy's show.
It's amazing to think of someone.
Copyright.
Yeah,
and that copyright was sufficient to get us blacklisted.
Yeah.
And with everything else that Elon's doing at the moment, that's what got us blacklisted.
Exactly.
A picture.
That's another episode altogether.
Yeah.
I think it might be. Top 3 people who have destroyed a country in under 100 days.
Yeah.
Might be a good podcast. But anyway, so please interact with the podcast via the socials. Just before we finish up today's most unusual episode, I was talking to one of our other listeners who came back to me with a comment following our recent episode on cities, and in particular, Gareth's assertion that the best city in the world is Bangkok. And he said, well, his experience in Bangkok isn't quite the same as Gareth's. He arrived in Bangkok, and he arrived at his hotel, and his hotel concierge instantly said to him, "Are you a businessman?" And he said, "Well, yes." And he said, "You need suits." And he goes, "Well, I suppose a bespoke suit might be quite nice." And off he went to the recommended tailor, who measured him all up, told him his suits would be ready in 3 or 4 days. Before he left, he then picked up his 4 suits, 6 shirts, and headed back home, only to discover that, number 1, they weren't that well made, and number 2, that in Newcastle, County Down, where the wind whips down the main street, a lightweight suit from the vendors of Bangkok has got 0 wind or heat properties for a standard day. He said
true.
those suits sat in his cupboard until he grew out of them.
That sounds like another story altogether.
They might have actually ended up going to the odd wedding or something along those lines. But in reality, that was his comment coming back on our previous episode. Anyway, Please send us your thoughts, listeners, and we will attempt another podcast shortly once I recover from the lunacy of this particular effort. But until we do that, my name is Martin.
My name is Gareth.
And my name's Andy.
And if they're not on future podcasts, listeners, you'll fully understand why.